Walk slow to the plate. Remember your breathing.
Well, there's a drive, deep down the left field line.
Stick with the approach. Keep the routine going.
Takes that one to left field. That is deep, way back.
Get into the game. Don't worry about the result.
Deep to left field. How far is this one gonna go? Evan Longoria with a monster blast.
What goes on in the mind of Tampa Bay Rays third baseman Evan Longoria has helped him emerge as one of the game's highest-profile young stars. The focus, the sense of calm, the faith in process, they're all essential components of his makeup.
Let's go to work, come on.
Evan Longoria tries the first pitch into right center field, and deep Thompson is back for the wall. Atop the right tank, a home run.
At the age of 23, Longoria is already a two-time All-Star. His highly developed mental approach to the game, not to mention his willingness to discuss it, distinguishes him from his peers. It also gives him an edge.
To us, it looks like it just happens naturally, but there is a method. His ability to be in the present moment makes him one of the best. When the pitch is being thrown, he's already forgotten about last at bat, and all that exists is this particular pitch, and this particular pitch is coming to me right now.
I see a lot of guys who have a lot of physical ability but don't have enough up top to, be able to control certain situations, or, some guys don't really buy into the whole mental training side of baseball, I guess. But for me, I've been doing it for so long that it's something that I trust.
Longoria has been doing it for 5 years. Before then, there was no reason to believe he'd develop into a major leaguer. In 2003, when he graduated from high school, 1,480 players were selected in the baseball draft. He wasn't one of them, nor was he recruited to play Division I college baseball.
Did you deserve to be overlooked when you were coming out of high school?
Definitely. Yeah, I wasn't good. I mean, I knew the game. I enjoyed playing the game. As far as ability and talent, I wasn't a professional player at that time.
To continue to play the game, Longoria enrolled at Rio Hondo, a junior college just a few miles from his hometown in Southern California. After hitting .430, Longoria transferred to Division I Long Beach State. There, he was introduced to the theories of Ken Ravizza, a professor of kinesiology and author of several books on sports psychology.
The essence is the idea of learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable and having something to go to when the garbage hits the fan, because the garbage will hit the fan, and let's be ready for it.
More than anything else, Ravizza preaches the gospel of mental preparation and structure. He teaches players to recognize failure as an unavoidable part of the game and how not to dwell on it. In the last 2 decades, he's been a paid advisor to several college and major league teams. At Long Beach State, his most apt pupils included Longoria and his teammate Troy Tulowitzki, now in his 3rd season with the Colorado Rockies.
Ken Ravizza, he's done a lot of good things for me and Evan. It's all about relaxing, taking your breath, and just making sure that the game's not moving too quick.
When you first were exposed to Ken's teachings, even you said, come on, this stuff can't really work. What was the turning point, you think?
We started playing in a lot of stadiums where it was a packed house, or the pressure was on, and that's when I started to realize when the game becomes more of a mental grind, I needed something to go to.
You can't just turn it over like that.
As Longoria matured physically, his mental training allowed him to maximize his talents. He emerged as a top prospect in the summer of 2005 when he was named MVP of the Cape Cod League, a traditional breeding ground for high draft picks. In the 2006 draft, 3 years after failing to be selected at all, Longoria was the 3rd overall pick.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays select Evan Longoria.
How did he get so much better so quickly?
I think his openness, that it didn't come easy, that he went through the rejection, and he was willing to take the risk to grow versus playing it safe all the time.
Longoria's mental maturity helped convince the Rays that he could be the cornerstone of the franchise. Just 6 games into his major league career, they signed him to a 9-year contract worth up to $44.5 million. Coincidentally, Longoria had found another true believer in Rays manager Joe Maddon, a longtime proponent of the Revisa method.
What Ken does is it's an attempt to make you think in a different or more clear way, controlling the controllable aspects of playing this game.
When you're putting on the batting gloves, put on the batting gloves. When you step into the box, be in the box. Be where you need to be when you need to be there.
Swing and rocketed into left center field. That's going to roll all the way to the warning track.
There is a zen-like quality to Longoria's focusing techniques.
Ken talks a lot about the focal point. If I make an error in the field or if I swing at a pitch in the dirt at the plate and I really feel like, you know, I've lost control of you know, either my emotions or the at-bat, that's when I step out. I always look at the left field foul pole, at the top of the left field foul pole. Just
Wherever
because,
you are, just in
yeah,
this
just
ballpark.
because I know there's always going to be a top of the left field foul pole. So,
And it works for you.
it works for me.
Even when he's not in the lineup, Longoria follows a mental routine. He'll slide on his batting gloves and imagine himself at bat. When he is playing, rituals help him relax and focus.
But let's say, for example, here comes his pitch, he fouls it off. He will step out of the box, he'll undo his gloves, release that pitch, grips the gloves back on, steps in the box, and he's back.
Not everyone attributes Longoria's success to his mental focus. There's his work ethic, his bat speed.
I mean, he gets upset, but he's got some tools that he uses, and he knows that's part of the game. And then this goes back to his background where it didn't come easy. He had to struggle at times.
From undrafted and unrecruited to the All-Star game and the World Series. It's been a quick trip for Evan Longoria. Now comes the hard part, maintaining focus.
Do you think there will be a day when you don't need a focal point, when you don't need the mental exercises that you do?
No, I don't think there will be, because as soon as you start believing that in this game, you'll get humbled in a heartbeat. I'll always have that to kind of keep in the back of my mind, and when I need it, use it.
Get rid of those negative thoughts. Get back to the moment.
How much of baseball is the mental side of it, and kids will throw out 80, 90%, and then you say, well, how much do you work on that? And the kids will say probably 10%.
Part of this learning process has been with our sports psychologist, Brian Kane. He has been a huge piece of this, teaching us a method and methodology of how to bring that about.
And with Kane, we're hitting him on the other end where mentally we want to be tremendously prepared mentally for every situation, success, failure.
Anytime you can get any kind of edge, it's going to be great, and especially in the mental game.
Coming to a program like Coastal Carolina, really it's teaching. And I come in and I try to teach the coaching staff and the players a system for them to play the game one pitch at a time.
The name of the game is moving on to the next play, moving on to the next pitch without quote-unquote clutter on your brain. And when we can do that more consistently than our opponents, we're going to have an advantage.
All that matters is this moment, this pitch. That's all we can control.
You know, that call was a close one. It didn't go our way. So what? Next pitch, move on.
If you have a bad pitch on the mound, you're just going to let it go. You're going to maybe step off, get a breath. And when you're in the box, same thing. Just let it go. Get your breath, get back in with confidence, and know you can do it.
They got the players to buy into it, and the players started to use hitting routines because the staff coached them on hitting routines and pitching routines. And when they used the routines, they had success. Anytime you can have success, you're going to keep doing what you're doing.
The routine helps out a lot as a pitcher because you're playing every pitch. There are no plays off. You're involved in every single play of the game.
The thing playing here in the Big South is that you don't get those big crowds that you're around a lot. So developing a routine and getting lost in that routine when you pitch is one of the most important things that we can do here.
And that routine set, I think, is a great tool for our guys that they can always utilize that when things may be getting a little bit out of control.